Cowper Green by John Clare. Now is our hot, not so seed, and days hereon ringed with speed, flushed with fury ruddy face, hies to light some cooler place. No industry her hands has dropped, and when dine of labour stopped, all is silent, free from care, the welcome boon of night to share. Pleasure wander from the town, pleased by the shellfish clown, whose talk forth spun the night about. Hogs, cows, and horses spin it out. Far from these, so low, so wan, a letter wind me down the lane, where deeper gloom parades, dream the hedge narrow shades, where mimic night hours breathes, neath the ashgrow's meeting heats. Onward when I glad proceed, where the insects and the weed caught my eyes as I pursue something hues worth a view. Chivy fought by wandering band, where groves of ash and where cheesing lights the ski. Oh, I loved prospect, Cowper Green. Fought no rills with sandy sweep, down the shaggy border creep, safe as when the rat-gut lanes run the brooks with hasty rains. Fought no yellow plains alow, foot on thee for sheep or cow. Where listening ears so sweet, for the mellow low and bleak, greeting on ice-treed gale, resting forward and making pale. For the breeze only the scene, still laughing, Cowper Green. Some may praise the grey split rhymes, but Regainer weekly triumphs, and cut hedges and lawn adore, which the sheer have smoothed o'er. But give me to ponder still nature when the blooms at will, and a kindress taste and joy, wildness and variety, that the verses has left to revy. Its dark prickles of the heath, where the grey-grown hawthorn spread, fort houses or on heads, where the spoils axe untouched, where the oak tree gnailed and notched, lifts its dead mottled furrows side, in nature's grandeur, nature's pride. Such is still my favorite scene, where seek the Cowper Green, and for pleasure what nature's child wander over the narrow wide, marking where the shaggy head, where unchecked the bramble spread, where the thistle meets the side, with its downhead cotton white, and the nettle keen to view, and hemlock with its gloomy hue, where the hands to find room for its sticky, stinking room, and full many a name sweet, and glazed, left to run to seed. Seen but with disgust by those who judge a blossom by the nose, wildness is my super seen, so seek the Cowper Green. Still the oughts to have the meats, who show the flowers as well as wheat. Found no face for maidie's love, cow's lips on thee care to drop. Still does nature yearly bring fairest heralds of a spring, on roots warm sunny side, brambles blooms in all its pride. Violets carpets all by flowers, and onus weeping bowers, died in winter's snowing rime, constant of their early time. With the leaves dewed ground again, a naked round, a garden when finds full many a pleasant bloom of blossoms lost to all perfume, fine rhododendron flowers, gilt with dew like suns with showers. Ah, that's fine, the back is blue, and cocoa flowers all sweet to view. The white wood on each road we see, and medical betony, the woodside railing reveals, with antique mullions flame the leaves. These fought mean the flowers of waste, planted here in nature's haste. Displayed with discerning eye, her love, the wide variety, each has charm in nature's book. I cannot pass without a look, and thou highest fragrant herbs and seed, which only gardens culture need. Where hawthorn fafts I love full well, a plugman's spaghetti spicy smell, where rhymes strong steamed, neath feeds, where morgan's bands are doubly sweet, and pretty roads creeping twine, these each succeeding each or mine. Spring all over the wild and gay, blessing spring or summer's day. As herb flowers weed adorn the scene, pleased I seek the Cowper Green. And I often zigzag my round, where uneven, heavy ground. Here and all, and where scoop, jostling down and climbing up, which a sandman's derived spade and the pigsman's picks have made. For many a year has all we roamed, since the grass first hit the mold. And many a hole was developed for seen, since peace clothed each mimic hill, where the pitchmen often find antique coins of various kind, and neath many a loosened block, unlight coffins in a rock, casing up the scarlet bone, headless as once heard is a stone. Not a thought of battles by, bloody times of chivalry, when each country's kindly lord gains his neighbor, drew a sword. Ever many a heightened scene, no hamlet fight the green, like this little bloody fight to keep his freedom and his right. And doubtless such was once the scene of thee, time-shrouded Cobra Green, and how I love a glimpse to see of hurry, board, and cheek, and often in my mushing side, where such relics meet my eye, to think that history's early page should yield to blank oblivion's range, and ye in without dimension made, resignment to his deadly shade, leaving conjecture but pause, with such might be the cause. With sweet the fragrance to explore, time so kind to keep in store, wrecks the cowboy often meets, on the mole hills time seats. When their colours pulling weeds change and bears the shining beats, but so tasteful minds display relicts of a druid day, opening on joining ice some lone hermit's paradise. Doubtless of is here admired where such relicts meet the sight, on that half same spot of ground where the cowboy's beads are found. Hermits, fleet from worldly care, may have mossed a cottage where, lived on herbs that were abound, food and physic double found, herbs that have existence still in every rail on every hill, whose worthless only when died as ruly life gave way to pride, helpless to oblivion's blood, black subscared lonely spot, as copper's green it may that once was fine in later day, thou mightst high in pilgrim ven or a plague of worldly man. Thou mightst have possesses or excels, hold some herbs and pilgrim ways, and doubtless see this very seat, this time kept will benefit one's feet, might be, or nearly so, the spot on which rose this lonely cot, and on that existing blank, close at its sieged rank, grass might grow and Moses breed, but wedged his roof and made his bed. Yes, such might be, such I love, to think and fancy as I rove over the wood and circled hill, like a world-shunning pilgrim still. Now a true mist faster fall, and the night a gloomy pall, blackening flinks between earth and sky, hiding all things from the eye. No broken seam, no thin spun screen, the moon can find to peep between. Now thy unmounted grass, untouched even, is blended up at its destined high, far too sore for sheep to bite, dropping hangs each feeble joint, with a glass noob on its point. Fancy now shall leave the scene, and bid good night to Copper Green.